Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. This is Sarah coming to you for your weekly reminders. Hi, I am the program manager at Remind. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. We've been doing weekly reminders now for a few weeks, and if you haven't checked out our other episodes, please feel free to do so after this video. We've talked about some really great topics right now during COVID-19, including grief, self-care, tips to navigate anxiety. So check them out. We are also going to continue to have some more episodes. I'll talk a little bit later at the end about our next one coming up. So, what are we going to talk about today on this gloomy Monday? We're going to talk about 10 things that you can control to support your mental health. And I know what you're saying, 10 things. Wow, that's a lot. You want me to do 10 things right now? Remember that this is not something that I'm telling you to do all of these 10 things, but these are 10 things that you can do to support your mental health. I've been reading a lot of people posting things about all the myriad of things that you can do right now, like 87 things to do while you're bored, or 20 things to do to clear your head. And sometimes these lists can be really overwhelming right now, especially when you're like, okay, well, I have all this free time, but I feel real stressed and I actually don't want to do anything. So when we go over this today, talking about the 10 things that you can control to support your mental health, maybe you can just think of a couple that might fit with you that you think, I haven't been doing that so great. So these are just 10 things that you can do, that you can think of, that might work for you. So pick and choose what works for you. But I encourage you to do an honest evaluation of these different topics while I talk about them, because a lot of times we say, oh yeah, no, I'm doing that great. But when you really take a moment to pause, reflect, and think about that area of your life, maybe there is some room for improvement, but that takes an honest look at yourself, and it also takes some effort on your part to be able to make a change. But if you do that, then these things will support your mental health. And right now, we do know that that's something that we all need. Very important. I was watching the news the other night, and they had a research article that came out that said anti-anxiety medication prescriptions were up 34% right now. That is a huge increase. And it's really concerning, right? We know that everybody has increased stress and anxiety right now, but the fact that that many people are seeking help and going straight to medication to get it as a way to calm down and to feel better is something that we really need to be aware of. So let's talk about some ways that you have in your control to support your mental health. And in this time right now, there's a lot of things that are out of our control, right? We don't know when this pandemic is going to end. We don't know when we're going to be able to get back to work. We don't know when things are going to be able to get back to normal. A lot of these things are out of our control. And so what do? We look for ways to control things, like buying an excessive amount of toilet paper, right? And that helps us feel in control. So let's look at other things that might be a little bit more healthy for us, rather than spending all of our stimulus check on toilet paper and excessive things that we might not need currently, but makes us somehow feel better. So let's start off with number one. What is the first thing that you can control to support your mental health? Sleep. Sleep. This is super easy, right? We all need sleep. But how has your sleep really been? Are you consistently getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep? Are you maintaining a consistent routine, right? This is really important. Oftentimes, I'm sure we all kind of do this, we don't have to get up as early as we usually do to do that morning commute. So you think, oh, well, I can stay up a little bit later, and all of a sudden it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you're binging on Netflix. I'm not going to say that I did that last night, but I might have. And how did I feel this morning? I felt tired. I didn't feel great. my usual bedtime is 10:30, and I'm usually really consistent with my routine for sleep because I know how important it is to make me feel good. And it's definitely one of the things that I've been lacking and not doing as well as I was doing before. So if this is something that you notice your sleep has been off, you really have to try hard to make sure that you get back into your routine. So set an alarm for you to go to bed as well as to wake up. And even if it's a little more difficult for you right now, just really putting into practice, try to make sure that you're going to bed around the same time and waking up at the same time. All right, number 2, healthy eating, right? This is one that we hear all the time. Now, oftentimes when people aren't feeling good, they turn to food for comfort, right? And what is our comfort food? Macaroni and cheese, Shake Shack, Whataburger, maybe we're grabbing the Doritos. There's lots of unhealthy foods that we have maybe at home that we bought, junk foods, and since we aren't leaving the house, we're snacking a lot more, right? And so you have to make sure that you're really watching what you eat because that can make you actually feel worse. So make sure that you're eating healthy food. When you go to the grocery store, make sure you're buying healthy food for yourself. Make sure you have healthy snacks around. So when you do feel like I need a snack, you don't go straight for the Doritos. Make sure that you are staying hydrated, right? Staying hydrated is really important for our mental health. And when we're at home, we often feel like, well, we're not out getting as much exercise, moving around as much, so we might not be drinking as much water as we usually do. And I know that that's been something that I've been noticing. So make sure you have your water bottle nearby and you are drinking water throughout the day. All right. Also for healthy eating, limit the amount of caffeine that you are consuming. Right? This is really important, especially if you want to maintain that good sleep hygiene. Don't be drinking a cup of coffee at night or a bunch of soda at night. Throughout the day, make sure you're really regulating how much caffeine you're drinking. And if you have anxiety and you're having anxious symptoms, caffeine can actually increase those feelings of anxiety. So you really want to make sure that you're watching the caffeine intake, watch what time you're drinking it. If you're having problems sleeping, make sure you're not drinking caffeine in the afternoon or evening times. All right, number 3. What's our number 3 thing we can go to? Exercise. We all hear how important this is, right? We need to exercise. It makes us feel better. It's hard. We can't go to our gyms if we usually do that. The parks were closed. It's difficult to get outside. Maybe we don't have a lot of space in our own home to exercise the way that we would like to. Or maybe we just don't feel like exercising. Maybe we'd rather just sit on the couch and watch TV. Right? But I really encourage you to fight that feeling and make sure that you get up and get moving because this is more important right now than ever. Why? Because we're getting less activity than we usually do, right? We usually get some exercise just because we're forced to walk to our cars, drive to work, get out of our cars, walk to work, and then walk during the day. Right now, you're probably doing a lot more sitting than you normally do. You're probably laying in bed a lot more than you normally do. You might be taking more naps than you normally do. And so we're just not getting movement, right? And so we really need to get exercise. And it doesn't have to be something maybe as much as you used to do or the same things that you used to do before this. Maybe you can try something different. If you can, get outside. Get outside, safely take a walk. Be outside in nature, get fresh air, get off your phone, look at the birds, look at the trees, look at the flowers, just enjoy being outside and getting that exercise if it's as simple as getting a walk every day. And so it's really, really important to make sure you're doing that. And maybe try something new. There's tons of exercise videos on YouTube that you can watch and try in the comfort of your own home and nobody will see you. So if you want to try Zumba, you try Zumba, but make sure that you're getting some movement. All right, number 4, make sure you are limiting your use of alcohol and other substances. Oftentimes, when we aren't feeling good, we can start to use substances as a way to try to make ourselves feel better. So if we're feeling anxious or we're feeling depressed, we might have more wine than we usually do. or maybe start using another type of substance. Maybe you start using more of any type of illegal substance, and we know that anytime you're using substances to make yourself feel better, to calm yourself, it's not actually helping. It's really making you feel worse. And if you already have a pre-existing mental health condition, that can really exacerbate your symptoms. And so you want to make sure that you are staying away from any substances that can really impair your mood. Even if you're trying to feel better, just know that that's not actually going to help. And so you can turn to these other things that we talked about. If you have a problem with substances in the past, make sure you're reaching out to somebody who can support you through this. There's a lot of meetings online that you can go and talk with other people about this. So just because you can't be around other people right now to kind of share those concerns and get that support, there's other ways to look for it. So really make sure that you're watching that, the substances that you're using, and minimizing that. And it can be easier when you're at home and you're not going out, because you think, okay, well, I can just have an extra glass of wine because I don't feel great, but I'm not going out to drive. And that's not actually going to help you. So think of these other activities that you can do instead. And then also make sure that if you do have a mental health condition, that you are making sure that you're staying on top of taking your medication. If you have refills that you need to get, there's ways to get them mailed to you. So if you don't want to leave your house but you need your medication, make sure that you're staying on top of that. Okay, number 5. Talked about this in other videos, and it's just as important today as it ever is. Make sure that you are creating and maintaining a routine and schedule. Now that we are in this place where we don't really have a routine, we don't really have a schedule, we're just kind of at home all the time, it can be really difficult to kind of feel any sort of control or normalcy if we don't have a routine built in. And so making sure that you are creating this routine, I talked about this in the self-care video in one of the first episodes, and this is something that I talked about in the other episodes as well. When you have children at home, routines are just as important for children as they are for adults. So make sure that you have that routine. Like I said, you're going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, that you know during the day, all right, I'm going to have breakfast, I'm going to set aside this time for working, I'm going to have lunch, I'm going to set aside this time for exercising, I'm going to limit the amount of TV that I'm watching, I'm going to do some reading, whatever that is, make sure you have that schedule. And don't stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning binging Netflix. All right, make sure that you also are putting in there some time to do what you enjoy as well. So number six, what can we do to support our mental health? Limit TV and social media, right? We all know that the amount of TV that we watch is probably too much right now. I think on any normal day, before the pandemic, we probably watched too much TV anyways, but now we're stuck inside our house and our TV seems to be our best form of entertainment, right? But really that's not really helping us if we're just sitting and vegging out in front of the TV all day. It's not really stimulating your mind. And so think of other ways, other things that you can do, including getting out and getting exercise. But you don't want to be watching the TV all day, especially with the news, and that could just be making your anxiety worse. So really limit your amount of social media. And number 7 is going to be stay social. So although I just told you to limit social media, I still want you to stay social. Pick up the phone, call a friend, stop texting people, because you have time to actually have a real phone call with them and they have time to have a real phone call with you, right? You want to make sure you're getting that authentic connection with people. Find ways to be connected. One of the things that I did was when I safely went to the grocery store to get my weekly groceries, I bought a bunch of cards and I wrote letters to some of my friends and family, and I mailed them so that they could get that. And that's a way for me to know that they'll be getting some joy. I wrote some jokes on them for them to laugh at, and it was fun for me in the process. And so that was a way for me to stay social besides just texting people. And I've also made sure that I am calling people and actually having phone conversations with them a lot more. And also make sure that you're avoiding people who aren't supporting your mental health. So if you have people in your life that actually make you feel worse when you talk to them, maybe those are the people that you want to avoid right now. Or if there's somebody that you talk to that just really increases your anxiety, or maybe can't stop talking about COVID-19 or politics. I'm thinking of my brother because every time I talk to him on the phone, that's all he wants to talk about. And it actually makes me feel anxious and it doesn't make me feel good. So, make sure that you either one, tell those people, hey, I really want to talk to you, but I don't want to talk about COVID-19 because I'm so over it. Or, it just doesn't make me feel good. So let's talk about, maybe some happy memories that you guys had, or talk about something that you guys would like to do in the future, things that you've been thinking about or things that you've been reading about. And so that's really important when you think about staying social. So the next thing to do, number 8, would be monitor your mood. So utilize a mood tracker if you have one. There is one that we have on our website at remindsupport.org, and it is something that is really useful. It's on our brochure page, and you can use it to monitor your mood. So what does that mean? We can track every day how we are feeling, and that helps us to see, hey, how did we feel on this day? Did we have a bad day? Did we have a good day? Check in with yourself, and it can help you see kind of a pattern. So if you had a good day, you can think about, what did I do that maybe might have helped me with my mental health that day feel better? I notice on the days that I go out and make sure I get exercise, I feel better. And so I want to make sure that I'm increasing those activities, even if I don't feel like doing it, because I know that after I do it, I'm going to feel better. So make sure that we are, you can monitor your mood, check that out. If you have a mental health diagnosis, is really important for you because this kind of helps you see, hey, are my symptoms increasing? This is going to help you see, do I need to get help right now? Do I need to reach out? Is there something that I need to be doing to make sure that I'm staying healthy? Because I'm noticing that my mood's getting worse and worse and worse. And so what do I need to do? So make sure that you're monitoring your mood. That's in your control. All right, number 9, get help when you need it, right? You have the control to get help. It might be difficult right now because help might look a little bit different, right? So you might not be able to go to see your doctor or your psychiatrist or your therapist. There might be other ways. They might be able to see you through telehealth. What I'm doing right now, they might be able to see you through the computer. But help is there if you need it. Maybe there is. Maybe you can call and talk to somebody on the phone. If you haven't gotten help before and you feel like, I don't think I can do this alone, seeking help is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. And it's important to remember that treatment is effective. So this might be the time that, hey, I really do need to talk to somebody. If you have insurance, you can call them and you can see what they have available for you, if they have telehealth available, so you can speak with a provider using the internet or using the phone. Call and see what your options are. And there's some resources on our website, remindsupport.org, for mental health resources. You don't have to do this alone, and that is in your control. So just make sure that you know that that's an option for you. And number 10, I have saved the best for last. Your resilience. You have control over your resilience. What am I talking about? Think of times when you have overcome difficult situations in your life. Of course, we've never experienced a pandemic before. None of us have, right? But think of a time when you had to go through something really difficult and you made it onto the other side, right? So what helped you get through that? These strengths that you have, your resilience, tap into that right now because you are a strong individual and you can get through these tough times, and you've done it before, you can do it again. So tap into that. Situations are temporary, emotions are temporary, but it's real and it's hard. And so it's important that we do what we can, we remember that we can get through these things, and we do the things that we know help us feel better and in control. So let's review what we went through, the 10 things that you can control to support your mental health. Sleep. I know I'm going to work on it a little bit more because, like I said in the beginning of the video, I went to bed at 1 o'clock last night. I'm going to work on that this week, my goal. 2, healthy eating. 3, exercise. Get out there, get moving. 4, limit alcohol and other substances. 5, create and maintain a routine schedule. 6, limit TV and social media. 7, stay social. 8, monitor your mood. 9, get help when you need it. And 10, tap into your resilience. All right, so that's all I have for you today for our weekly reminder. Thanks for tuning in. Please go ahead and follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, the whole world. You can also visit us on remindsupport.org. Again, that's remindsupport.org for updates and resources. Our next weekly reminder episode is going to be this Thursday, April 23rd at 11 a.m. Lauren will be presenting to you on addressing unhealthy behaviors in isolation. All right, that's a really important topic. It's like I said, I know that we're all probably doing some things that aren't healthy for us, so let's really work on what we can control. So stay healthy, stay happy, stay strong, and please feel free to leave us a comment. Let us know if you like the video. Let us know if there's something that you want us to talk about in regards to mental health. We'd be happy to do it for you. So everybody have a good week. We'll see you soon. Thank you.